Alright guys, welcome back. So right now, like I said, we're going to be finding the angle measures. Well, with finding the angle measures, you're also going to have to know the different types of angles. So we have the alternate interior, which end up being congruent. You have alternate exterior, which again are congruent to one another. You have consecutive interior, which are congruent, which are supplementary. And then you have corresponding, which are congruent. Okay? So we're going to be needing to know that. Now, a lot of you are probably panicking because you see a lot of different things that you're going to have to be solving for. Well, it's actually not too bad. So we're going to stick with one angle measure first, and then we're going to work with that. So if you notice, they're telling you angle P, line P is parallel to line Q. And they're telling you the measure of angle 1 is 68 degrees. Since they're telling me that, I'm going to fill it in with angle 1. Now, I'm just going to work with what other angles could possibly be that 68 degrees. So think about it. With 3 of our other angle types, we knew that they were congruent with one another. So let's just see, is angle 2 congruent with it? Nah. Is angle 3? No. Is angle 4? Yes. And the reason being is if you notice, what type of angles are they? 1 and 4. If you're telling me vertical, you're correct. So I just figured out angle 4 would be also 68 degrees because of being a vertical angle. Now, since I know this is 68 degrees, moving on with solving for angles. Angle 5. Now this falls with one of our special types, with P and Q being parallel with one another. This line right here is the transversal. Opposite sides of the transversal now with angle 5 would also make it 68 degrees because they're congruent. So angle 4 and angle 5 are alternate interior angles and they're congruent to one another. So now I have this being 68. Also, if you guys notice, angle 1 and angle 5 are also corresponding. So they are congruent to one another also. You could use that rule of corresponding to know that angle 4 and angle 8 then would also be 68 degrees. So, you have half of the angles done. Now, you're probably wondering how you're going to get the other half. But this goes off of what we talked about earlier. Think about it. Straight line. Not that I drew it straight. But straight line. How many degrees are in a straight line? 180. If you know the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 is equal to 180 degrees, and you know the measure of angle 1 being 68, you don't know the measure of angle 2, you can simply solve either the equation or just a basic math problem. So subtract 68 from both sides, you get the measure of angle 2 to be equal to 112 degrees. So the measure of angle 2 is 112. So you just found another one of your angles. So now let's work on solving the rest. So if I jump to doing corresponding, angle 2 and angle 6 are corresponding. So they would have the same measure. Now if I jump to just using alternate interior, angle 3 would be 112 degrees. And then if I jump to using corresponding again with angle 3 and angle 7 would also have to be 112 degrees. So using the 4 different angle types plus one that we learned last class, I was able to solve for all of the missing angle measures. I'm just going to tell you guys right now, it's really important that you know what the positioning is of your angles. Okay, let's try another one together. So I'm going to jump to number 3. In number 3, I know line C is parallel to line D. Line E right here is my transversal. Measure of angle 8 is 97 degrees. Okay, so I'm just going to fill in which ones are going to be ending up congruent. Well, I'm starting out in between my parallel lines, so I'm just going to automatically go with an in-between angle. So that would be alternate interior angles. Angle 8 and angle 4 alternate interior. So that means the measure of angle 4 is also going to have to be 97 degrees. Now, let's use corresponding. So, what angle would be corresponding to angle 8? If you said angle 6, you're correct. So that means the measure of angle 6 is also 97 degrees. Now, with angle 4 right here, what angle is corresponding to angle 4? If you said angle 2, you are correct. You could also use the fact that 2 and 6 are alternate exterior angles to solve that as well. So angle 2 would be 97 degrees. All right, let's jump back to knowing the measure of angle 8 is 97. What type of angles are angle 8 and angle 7? If you just told me consecutive interior angles, you're correct. And we know consecutive interior angles have to give us 180 degrees. So I know the measure of angle 8 plus the measure of angle 7 has to be 180 degrees. Well, if angle 8 is 97 degrees, angle 7, I don't know. I'm just now going to have to solve a simple basic algebraic equation. So subtracting 97, you get the measure of angle 7 to equal 83 degrees. Okay, so that means the measure of angle 7 is 83 degrees. And again, you can use your rules that you know. Alternate interior angles would be 3 and 7. So angle 3 is also 83 degrees. Angle 1 is corresponding to 7, so angle 1 is 83 degrees. Angle 3 corresponds with angle 5, so angle 5 would also be 83 degrees. Okay? Now, remember guys, if you're having questions or anything like that, please message me or attend my Zoom. If you need to set up a specific time for a Zoom, I'd be more than happy to. But let's do one more problem together. It's kind of like one of the tricky ones from this section for you guys, but I'm going to jump down to number 5. So some of you are probably like, whoa, hold up, Miss Hawes. Well, we can do this, guys, okay? They give us enough information here. So they're telling us M and N are parallel. Line L is my transversal. Let's just stick with some basics real fast. So I'm noticing this 90-degree box right here. Think about what you know about consecutive interior angles since I'm inside my parallel lines. They have to give us 180 degrees. Well, this angle right here is a 90-degree angle. Angle 3 then is going to have to be 90 degrees. So I know the measure of angle 3 is 90 degrees. Okay? That's also going to carry over on this side too, but we don't have to solve for that. But knowing putting this over here and then picking, if I were to pick up line N and put it on top of line M, what do you know about these two then? Correct. They're going to be 90 degrees together. So angle 6 is also 90 degrees. So that's all we can deal with doing 90 degrees. Now let's take the information that I know with this 38. So line L is your transversal. 38 then, looking at these are my parallel lines. So that 38 is in between If I go on the opposite side, then that's called an alternate interior angle, which means that angle 1 would also be 38 degrees. Okay? Now, looking to see if there's anything else. If I were to pick up line M and put it on top of N, angle 1 and angle 8 would be in the same position, meaning the measure of angle 8 is also 38 degrees. Okay? Because they're in corresponding positions. Now, unfortunately, there's only one more angle we can say is being 38 degrees. And that is based on knowing alternate axial angles. So, parallel lines, opposite sides of the transversal on the outside would make angle 4 38 degrees as well. Okay, now we're going to kind of like jump away from our specific types of angles. We already said that this angle 6 here is 90 degrees. Okay, we know that since that part's 90 degrees, this, and I'm just going to put it all in blue like this. This also has to be 90 degrees for this angle, okay, this whole angle here. Well, if part of it's 38, in order to get the other part, you're simply just going to subtract 38 degrees to get angle 5. So when you subtract those two, for the measure of angle 5, you're going to get 52 degrees. Okay, so that one was a little easier for us to do. And remember, guys, I'm just using everything that I know up until now. So now I have what angle 5 is, which is 52 degrees. Okay, that's going to be the only, or no, there is one more that is going to be 52. And let's look real fast. So if I draw in my bow tie again, there you have it. Angle 2 is also 52 degrees. Okay, so now that's it for 52 degrees. So now, in order to get angle 7 and angle 9, I'm going to have to use this measure of 38 degrees. And why would I be choosing that? Well, if you're saying because angle 8 and angle 9 form that straight line, meaning they're going to have to give me 180 degrees. So the measure of angle 8 plus the measure of angle 9 is going to have to be 180 degrees. Well, the measure of angle 8 is 38. The measure of angle 9, I don't know. So solving this is a simple one-step equation. So I get the measure of angle 9 to be equal to 142 degrees. So that's going to be 142 degrees. And again, you can use the same rule up here with doing the math with 7 and the original 38. Or you can use it knowing that you have vertical angles. And angle 7 is also 142 degrees. Now, I might have lost a few of you in this example because there was a lot that you had to solve for here. But guys, don't panic about it. It's actually, as you start to practice more, you'll start to recognize the different types of angles and you'll be able to identify them. So what I'm going to have you guys do now is you guys are going to try number 2 and number 4. Now, with number 4, I'm just going to give you the hint. You have 2 different transversals here. So if you have a separate paper, or if you have a Post-it note or anything like that, I'm going to ask that you cover up half of the figure and just work with one half and then cover up the other side and like switch and cover up that transversal then and solve. Okay? So work with half and then work with the other half. So I'm going to ask that you pause the video right now and then I'll walk you guys through on how to do 2 and 4 once you guys have had a chance to do it. All right, so let's look at number 2 together. So the measure of angle 7 is 134 degrees. Angle 7 and angle 3 are alternate interior angles, meaning congruent. So angle 3 would also have to be 134 degrees. Now, going off of the original angle that I knew, corresponding to that would be angle 5. So angle 5 would have to be 134 degrees. And then corresponding to angle 3 now would have to be angle 1, so that's 134 degrees. Again, using your straight line rule, you could also do it based on consecutive interior angles. You know that they're going to have to equal 180 degrees, so a 180 minus 134 is going to give me 46 degrees. So I know the measure of angle 6 is 46. Well, that angle 6 then is alternate interior with 2. So angle 2 is 46 degrees. And then doing my corresponding. Angle 6 corresponds with angle 8. So you have 46 degrees there. And angle 2 corresponds with angle 4. So you have 46 degrees right there. All right, now, like I said with number 4, work on half of the line and then work on the other half. So I am, and I'm going to do it, I'm just going to scribble them out so we can't see that. So I'm only going to look at this half now. So I have W and V being parallel and then transversal X. I have 59 degrees here. I'm just going to build off of that. So alternate interior angles would have to be 3 and that 59. So angle 3 would be 59 degrees. Now I'm going to do corresponding. Well, this original 59 and angle 2 are corresponding. So they're congruent. And then corresponding with angle 3 would be angle 6. So that would also be 59 degrees. Okay, that's all I can do with 59. Now, going into figuring out the other parts of that line, you're going to follow the rule of supplementary, and you can use your consecutive interior here. So all you got to do is 180 minus 59, and that's going to give you 121, meaning the measure of angle 4 is 121 degrees. So this is 121. I'm going to use corresponding angles. So angle 4 and angle 7 are corresponding. So angle 7 is 121 degrees. I can use 7 and 1 as alternate exterior. Okay, so angle 1 would also be 121 degrees. And then 1 and 5 are corresponding, so angle 5 would be 121 degrees. Okay, so now that I have that half done, I'm going to uncover the other half, and I'm just going to look at what I have. So, 104 is what I'm given. I'm going to just start out with alternate exterior. 104, alternate exterior is angle 13, so that would be 104 degrees. Now, I'm going to start out with my original 104 and do its corresponding, so that corresponding angle would be 12. And then building off there, I'm just going to do alternate interior, which would be angle 9. Okay. So now what's going to end up happening is I'm going to have to use my rule of supplementary in order to get what the other angles are going to be. So I'm going to have to do 180 minus 104, which gives me 76. So now using that, I'm going to just go 76 for angle 10. Alternate interior would be 11, so that's also 76. Corresponding 10 and 14, so angle 14 is 76 degrees. And then alternate exterior is 8, so that would also be 76 degrees. So I hope you guys were able to see why I was asking for you guys to cover up half and then try the one half and then work on the other half. It made it a lot easier. Yes, I know it might have made some of you guys panic at first, but it's actually quite simple once you break it down. And that's what's important with the angles, is that you just break it down and you just work on what you know, not what you don't know. Okay? So that's the end of lesson 6.1 extension. What I'm going to ask that you guys do now is that you head to Schoology and you guys look at the worksheet that's posted for you guys. As always, I will be offering office hours for you guys to attend, along with Miss Luby has office hours for you guys to attend. We'd love to see your faces. Don't forget, if you attend one of our office hours, give a huge shout out to your favorite redheaded teacher, Miss Luby, whose birthday it was this weekend. Happy birthday, Miss Luby. Hope you had a fabulous day. All right. Now, head over to Schoology, check a look at the worksheet, and if you have any trouble, please reach out to one of us. Have a great day, guys.